I am Dalima Chhibber, a footballer for the Indian national team. For the past 15 years, I've been wearing the Indian badge and representing the country. I'm a sports psychologist and I'm also an entrepreneur. So now, when I look back at my journey in football, it was never a clear path, for sure. It did not start in a stadium. It did not start with a jersey. It often involved times in spaces where I was the only girl. And I grew up playing football with boys, being the only girl, not just because it was a statement or it felt like I needed to prove a point, but often because that is where the game existed. And I think when I look back, and even today when we talk about football, I would just like to ask everybody a question. How many of you over here know that India has a women's football team? Very less, yeah? Do we know that women's football has a professional league in India? Yeah, nobody. So it just brings me to my point. I started playing football 20 years ago, and being in a space, playing with boys, that is where the game existed. And that is where my journey kind of started. So from the very beginning, choosing football as a girl and as a sport in which I wanted to make my career often involved being questioned or having to constantly explain the choice that I had to make, which was very natural to me, but people really didn't understand. And the doubt around being a woman and choosing football, it doesn't really disappear. You just learn how to carry it with you. I've been playing football, like I said, for 20 years. I've been wearing the Indian jersey for 15 years now. I started playing for India when I was 13 years old. Started playing from the under 14, played under 16, captained the Indian team in under 19 AFC Asian Cup qualifiers. I made my debut for the senior team as a 17, 18-year-old at the South Asian Games. I've represented the country, Asian Cup, Asian Games, South Asian Football Championships. I've been to Canada, played there professionally for 3 years. I have been the most valuable player in South Asian Football Championships. I've been the best defender, the team MVP in Canada for my team. And when we talk about my path to all of these moments, it was never a straight path, or it wasn't the one without doubt or without struggles. As a young player, I never really just had the luxury of assuming that the things would really work out and would go in my favor. Every phase that I went through, it felt temporary. It felt like every chance and every opportunity that I got as a girl, as a woman footballer, because I wanted to make a career in it, that I had to prove myself, to show why I belonged on the field, to make a space for women coming after me, or women who wanted to choose sport, not just football, but choose sport. I see quite a few women over here. And today I ask you this question, like, have there been situations where you've been questioned just because you made a choice? And when you make a choice in sport, it only really becomes that difficult and football being a contact sport, a physical sport, you grew up listening, चोट लग जाएगी, शादी कौन करेगा, heart टूट गया तो, fracture हो गया तो. And let me tell you, I've had fractures, I've had broken noses, I've had knee surgeries. You go through that, but it's a part. You're a human being, you come over it, injuries become a part of it. But as women, for me, as a young girl who wanted to play football and wanted to make it professional, it didn't really stop me. And it can't really stop you, because you learn, you make yourself strong. And just because you're a girl doesn't mean that you cannot be strong and you cannot choose a path that nobody has ever chosen or they're unfamiliar with. And when I talk about struggles as well, growing up, there was a lot of struggle, and the biggest struggle really comes in being the only, being a girl who wants to play football or who wants to choose sport. And that is the biggest struggle. And that is the first step that you choose, that, okay, I'm a girl, I want to play football, and I want to make a career in it, I want to be a professional player. And I want to have an earning through it. That's the first step you take as a young girl I started playing at the age of 5, started training for it properly at the age of 8. And at the age of 8, a child has dreams. That's the first step you take. And the first thing when you say, there only is a question that really comes at you. Are you sure? Till when are you going to play? Why do you want to choose a sport? Padhai karo. Scientist bano, doctor bano. What do you want to do? And I think that really sort of turned into a motivation for me when I look back at my journey, because I grew up playing with boys, like I mentioned right at the beginning. Now when I look back, my school has a football team. I go back to my school. It's been 12 years since I've graduated. I go back to my school and every little girl comes up to me and tells me that they want to be like me. They want to be a confident woman just because they want to be able to make those choices and stand up for what they want to do and what they want to be. I have been able to create a path that everybody and nobody thought was possible. Coming and growing up in Delhi, you don't really see a lot of athletes coming out, making it to the international stage, and very few that we know of. It's a state known for academic achievements, for doctors, for scientists, for engineers, but very rarely for sports people. And now when I look back, I feel actually very honored, very proud that I've been able to create that sort of space for young women, young footballers, to see a future, to be able to choose a sport or to choose football. And those sorts of struggles and challenges create pressure, and that pressure sort of leads to chaos. And now, when I talk about chaos, for example, physical chaos, that you have to constantly adapt. You have to keep up with the spaces where you're in. I started playing with boys. I had to make sure that I was strong. I was as strong as them, or rather stronger sometimes, because I have to push them, I will be pushed around, I will have injuries. Secondly, emotional chaos, that you want something deeply, and at the same time, you're constantly being asked where you have to explain it or justify it as to why do you want to do it. And lastly, mental chaos, because along the way, when you're being questioned, when there's so much going on, you have to learn how to believe in yourself as well. How do you tell an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, or a 12-year-old that it's all going to be okay? How do you tell them to believe in themselves? And that even when the path that you see, a path that you choose in life, it is never going to be clear. So how do you tell a small child, a young kid, that it's all going to be all right? And that's something that you have to learn. It's the hard part, but you have to learn throughout your journey. And through all of it, I focused only on being tough and performing, improving, wherein it led to moments where I felt so tired, I even questioned myself. And that's when lucid chaos, for me, which is like the ability to stay present even when nothing really feels certain, or like you don't know where you're headed and it's kind of an unknown space, you kind of learn to believe in yourself that everything is going to turn out for well and turn out for good. And in those moments, I really just had to rely on belief. Belief in myself that I can do it. Belief that I can achieve my goals. Belief that I can make a path, that I can create opportunities for the girls. When I talk about that I go to Canada, there are so many kids that we see, they want to go to US, they want to go to Canada, they want to go to Europe to pursue higher studies. I got that opportunity through sport, not through my academics. I got that opportunity through something that I chose that was so unfamiliar to people. And when I got that opportunity through sports, I did it on a full scholarship. I didn't pay a single penny to study and to do my master's in sports psychology. And it was all because I chose to do sport. I chose to be a footballer. And those are the sort of opportunities and sort of a path, sort of the awareness that you create. And that is what one of my goals was starting out, that, and how I started out was that there was nobody to support me, but I wanted to make sure, and it was a belief, like I've spoken about, that it only takes one person to sort of make people believe. And make them understand that I can do it. And that sort of leads me to an event, a situation. And I would like to give an example of that. Like in the introduction, he mentioned about my free kick. And that free kick was a goal in the South Asian Football Championship final against Nepal. The whole stadium was full with people from Nepal, and people thought that we were going to lose. It was a tough match. We got a free kick. I kept the ball. It was 40 yards out. I kept the ball, and everything leading up to that incident, nobody spoke about footballers. Nobody spoke about women footballers. Everybody questioned me. And they questioned my parents as well. Beti ko kyun khila rahe ho, lag jayegi, football mein kya hai, there is no future. Fast forward to that moment, I kept the ball, I took that free kick, and honestly, until 2 hours later, because you have to submit your phones go away before the game, and there were the match commissioners, so you don't even know. And until 2 hours after the game, I didn't even know how viral that goal had went. I kept the ball, just took a deep breath, told myself, you got this, took a shot, went into the goal. First goal of the final match, and it came in a final match. And it goes viral, it's flooded on social media, everybody's watching it. And then the next thing I see on Twitter from one of my relatives is that, "Arey, ye to mera bachcha hai." But when it started, there was nobody. And the thing is, when you reach a certain level, after that, everybody who questioned you or is related to you or has even been, or like had a conversation with you, they all come out, "Arey, ye to mera bachcha hai. Arey, isko to maine sikhaya hai." Right? So when I talk about lucid chaos, there are always going to be struggles. There are always going to be challenges. There is always going to be chaos in every way, in form. But the ability to just be present, just to believe in myself and believe that what I was capable of doing, because I really cannot just always keep explaining to everybody that, okay, like, you know, this is how good I am. I know it in me. I know that I can do it. I have the talent. All it took was just to go out there and prove it. Yes, it took a few years, but that one free kick, that one incident, that one championship win, and that is the same tournament, we lifted the trophy, we won the gold medal, I won the most valuable player of the tournament. And it really just takes that one moment to kind of change the narrative, to change the questions. From "Kyun khila rahe ho" to "Mera bachcha hai." Takes a few years, but I guess even with the chaos, with everything that really comes around, just the ability to be aware and to know about yourself and what you're capable of is really a game changer. And for me, over time, these choices are really what have made me who I am, and I'm standing here today. I built longevity in the game. I reached milestones I only once imagined. I stood on pitches knowing that I had to earn my place. And not because everything was perfect, but because I stayed. I just stayed as a woman footballer, as a young girl. I was adamant, I was stubborn that I wanted to do it. I stayed, and that is how I sustained. And as a woman footballer, my journey has never just been about talent. It's been about consistency. It's about learning how to hold uncertainty, the unknown, without letting it define me. And today, when younger girls come up to me, I never really have a perfect answer because that really hasn't been my journey. And that is not how life always treats us or is going to treat us as well. And what I tell them is the truth that I lived, that clarity did not come before I started. It came because I stayed, I was consistent, and I chose to do football and choose football as a part of me, as who I am, over and over and over, through doubts, through the unknown, through the unpredictability. And that most of the time, you don't really need clarity. You just need to move forward. You just need to keep putting one foot in front of the other, keep doing what you believe that you're capable of doing and what you can achieve. Lucid chaos, like I said, it means being fully aware and present while you're moving through the unknown. And for me, it meant moving forward without guarantees and just staying present even when I didn't know what came next. And I didn't wait for clarity, I just learned it through my experience. And those sort of learnings have actually got me to become a sports psychologist. When I look back at my journey, you're being questioned every day. You're stepping on the field every day, every opportunity you get, just to prove that you belong here. It sort of takes a toll, the pressure, the mental pressure. You have days where you just don't even want to wake up from the bed, but you just wake up just for that one dream. Anxiety really starts catching up to you. Depression really starts catching up to you. The pressure, the fear of failure, it just becomes so real, because every opportunity you have to prove yourself. Every opportunity you have to prove why you want to play football. Because again, when we talk about the awareness, even now, I've been playing it for 20 years, 20 years later as well when we talk, yes, it has improved, but it's only, 5% of the population? And that is such a small margin when we talk about it. So yes, even now, 20 years after my journey, and 20 years of my journey, and 15 years of representing the country as well, even today, this is an opportunity for me to show, to prove where I am, what I do. Yes, I'm a footballer. I stand proud in it. And that is what has gotten me over here. I'm proud of being a footballer. I identify as a footballer. And that is what has carried me forward. And in reality, the thing is that you really don't need everybody to understand your choices, and you don't even need a clear path with intention. When I started, today I'm standing here, I've proved my point, I've moved forward, and it's just there are moments flashing in front of my eyes right now through my journey, and I just see the kind of struggle that you have to go through, that it takes. But I would just like to say one thing before I end, is that if you know you can do it, no matter what the chaos, no matter what the struggles, no matter who the people, I really didn't have anybody to support me. It was my parents and my brother and my sister, just my immediate family who really believed in me, and who supported me throughout, against all the odds. And that is what has gotten me over here. Just that one simple belief in the middle of all the chaos, all the struggles, and all the obstacles. So I think if there's one message that I would like to leave everybody with, that in sport and like in life, and I say that quite often, that there is no better teacher than sport, and there is no better teacher than experiences. So whatever I am today, whatever it has made me, the ability to even stand in front of a crowd and talk so confidently and be fluent, it's not something that I got by sitting in a classroom. It came through my experiences. And there are people who are not as comfortable, and there are a lot of those who kind of have a fear of standing in front of people and talking. So if I'm here standing today as well, talking about my journey, talking about the kind of struggles that I've been through, how I've made it to now, it has all been because of that one choice that I made, and the belief that I kept in myself through all of the chaos that I've been through. And I think that is really what carries everybody, and that is really what matters in life, in sport, and in everything that we choose to do. Thank you.